Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good morning. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Therese Amato. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please sit. No need rise. Can you take the tablet, please? Good morning. First, a disclaimer. A great orator, I am not. I can be shy. I explored the idea of using ChatGPT like others have used, but quickly decided it's better for this to be straight from me. So it is. Just me, nothing artificial, but hopefully intelligent. Some of us are new, some are not. But we are a family. And like any family, we all have the quirky relatives who come to dinner, some of whom make us cringe, some make trouble, but most share their love, knowledge, and support. We have the wise uncles who try to predict the future and with vision help us to save money and plan for our future and long-term goals. There are the caring aunties who feed us and help us to care for our children, students, and the less fortunate. There are the builders at our table who work to provide housing for our people. The patriarchs and the matriarchs of our family who sit at the head of the table and share their wisdom, guiding and teaching us. And then there are the fun cousins who make us laugh when the work may get stressful and tough. Some in our house family are older and wiser, and some are more youthful and energetic. I appreciate all of you and the unique talents each of you possess. All of us together, we form the body, and together we stand, at least most of us, to uphold the ideals of this institution, to preserve and protect the body, our legislative family, and our democracy, while diligently serving our diverse communities. We do this while honoring our word to our constituents and to our colleagues. In committee and now in conference, we have the privilege of making sure our colleagues' ideals are upheld and supported as we respectfully honor their requests. In this way, together as a team, we help to transform and protect our home and our communities. I cannot adequately express my gratitude and the honor in being here to serve our society and my fellow members, and to have become friends with so many of you. This is the best job in the world, and I am so grateful. And since it is almost the last day of session, May the 4th, also known as Star Wars Day, I leave you with this thought: honor, loyalty, and character. This is the way. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Amato. Item 1, roll call. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu? Mr. Alcos? Ms. Amato? Ms. Bellotti? Mr. Chun? Ms. Cochran? Mr. Evslin? Mr. Ganadin?
Excuse.
Mr. Garcia? Mr. Garrett? Mr. Gates?
Excuse.
Mr. Hashem? Mr. Hashimoto? Mr. Holt? Ms. Hussey Burdick? Ms. Ichiyama?
Excuse.
Ms. Kahaloa? Ms. Capella? Mr. Kila?
Ew.
Ms. Kitagawa? Mr. Kobayashi? Mr. Kong? Ms. Lachika? Ms. Lamosao?
Excuse.
Ms. Lowen? Ms. Martin, Ms. Martinez,
Excuse.
Mr. Matayoshi, Ms. Matsumoto, Mr. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima,
Excuse.
Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso, Mr. Pirik, Ms. Poepoe, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Saiki, Mr. Sayama, Ms. Souza, Mr. Takayama, Ms. Takenouchi, Mr. Tam,
Present.
Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Ward,
Excuse.
Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 44 members are present, 7 are excused.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we're in receipt of Governor's Message Number 9, informing the House that a tentative agreement has been made with the HSTA Collective Bargaining Unit 5 and transmitting a proposed measure to fund the award. May this matter be received and filed.
So ordered. Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, if you and the members will turn your attention to the addendum to today's order of the day. We are in receipt of communications returning the noted House concurrent resolutions, all having been adopted in the Senate. We are in further receipt of a communication informing the House that the Senate has reconsidered action in disagreeing to the amendments proposed by the House, has moved to agree, and passed the noted Senate bill on final reading. Finally, we are in receipt of communications informing the House that the Senate has appointed conferees to the noted House and Senate bills.
Members, are there any introductions? With no further introductions at this time, item 5, reports of standing committees. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt standing committee reports numbers 2235 through 2239 as listed on pages 1 through 3, and that the accompanying Senate concurrent resolutions be adopted.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM report 2235? Next page, 2236, 2237, 2238. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Next page, 2239. The chair will call for a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Item 6, members, are there any announcements? Representative Kila.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to request a late introduction, please.
So ordered.
They're not here, but they're here in the Senate chamber. So I have to do this on behalf of Representative Gates and myself. So today in the gallery in the Senate chamber, we have Papahana Okaiona, which is alternative learning program for Nanakuli and Waianae High School students. Their goal is to engage students in their learning through hands-on culture, place-based learning, and opportunities that take students into the community. This year, they worked with the Waianae Mountain Watershed Partnership, who taught them the important role that our honey creepers in our native forests and the current threats that exist against these native species. Through HCR 81 and subsequent thousands of pages of testimony, they look to establish Hawaiian Honey Creeper Celebration Day in hopes of protecting these watershed warriors for future generations and highlight the conservation efforts being used to protect them. In attendance in the Senate chamber, we have Vice Principal Ryan Oshita, Kumu Shannon Boscases, Abigail Asuega, Brianna Joshua, Precious Noble, Akena Tali, Travis Kahaloa, Kumu Kylie Lefebvre, Kumu Yumi Miyata, and they hopefully will join us soon. And then for myself, with our Nanakuli students, I have the honor to host today the students from Nanakuli High and Intermediate Schools who call themselves Scrappas Union 96792, but not Scrappas as in fighters, Scrappas as in recyclers. These team entrepreneurs have built a thriving business of mobilizing students and community members to recycle cardboard and waste and convert them into variable products for mulching, packaging, and compostable plant pots. They have been so successful that when they entered in a statewide competition for business plans, hundreds of students and dozens of schools, the Scrappas Union came in first place, garnering $25,000 from American Savings Bank. We are proud of these students, and they are the best of us as we move forward. The teachers in attendance with them is Kumu Michelle Piper, Kumuniko Mikes, Miss Helena Basweda, Keola Mahoy, Nahe Ka'ava Kawai, Gianna Lay, Jeremiah Magalones, and Paul Nohulu. Members, if we can give them a round of applause, although they are not here. And members, if you could please join me in Senate Room 016 for lunch after this if you'd like to enjoy and meet some of those students. So mahalo.
Thank you, Representative Kila. Representative Kahaloa?
Mahalo, Mr. Speaker. Today there was a signing event for the pledge for our keiki today before session. And if anyone couldn't attend or had to leave early to prep for session and couldn't sign, they're doing wet signatures, and they said they would stay around longer to take photos or to be able to sign. And the pledge for our keiki, the DOE, Kanu Hawaii, and others in the visitor industry came together to say, like the pledge of Palau, they modeled a similar pledge for Hawaii so that if folks are visiting, they sign pledges and learn how to lessen their environmental impact on Hawaii. So that's what the pledge is for. If you want a wet sign, you can come up to the rotunda after. Mahalo.
Thank you. Representative Souza?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just wishing the sister of my sister-in-law, MMA fighter Ilimale McFarlane, good luck in this weekend's event where she will face off against Kana Watanabe in Bellator 295 at the Neil S. Blaisdell Arena tomorrow. Ilimale is not only an exceptional MMA fighter, but she is the founder of Na Wahine Toa Foundation, which advocates for Indigenous girls and women and was inspired by the missing and murdered Indigenous women movement. Thank you to all of you who signed on to the certificate. Mahalo.
Thank you. Representative Cochran?
Thank you. And I just want to add on to the comments of Ms. Kahaloa in the pledge to the keiki that's upstairs for signing. We're patterning it after the pledge of Palau, and His Excellency President Whips Jr. is here in attendance, and he's just such a humble man. So if you have the opportunity to go visit Talk Story, he is around in the building. So I just wanted to recognize him. Mahalo.
Thank you. With no further announcements, the chair would like to remind committee chairs that today is the second crossover filing deadline for amended Senate concurrent resolutions. Please file your committee reports and drafts with the Chief Clerk's office by 6 p.m. this evening. Representative Morikawa?
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 11:30 a.m. Monday.
Representative Garcia?
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 11:30 a.m. Monday.